Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With an active monsoon season expected this year, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help, offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroofing.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroofing.com. This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Tuesday, the 29th of July. I'm Michael Groff. Conditions remaining dry, temperatures still above average today and tomorrow. The question you're asking, I'm asking, everybody wants to know, where the heck is the monsoon? You're probably not using the word heck, but either way, yes, some moisture is on the increase for some isolated late afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms over the eastern mountains and the southeastern portions of the state today. A slight increase in the number of storms tomorrow. As for rain chances here in the valley, about the only opportunity we're going to see here, probably at least meaningful chances, will be on Thursday. And even at that, a pretty low-grade monsoon will be in effect at that point. Then as we go to the weekend, conditions start to dry out. The next big forecast concern and challenge revolves around the potential of an upcoming heat wave later on in the weekend and next week. How hot could it get? When, if at all, might we see some actual monsoon activity returning to the southwest? We'll talk about that and everything else as we dive on in and discuss. First, the Almanac from yesterday. 111 degrees the afternoon high, 86 was the morning low, 106 and 85 are the averages for this time of year. How about that record high of 121 degrees back in 1995? I talked a little bit about that yesterday. And yes, the second hottest temperature ever recorded in Phoenix. Yeah, taking a look outside right now at 11:40 a.m. How about sunny sky? We're at 102 degrees presently at Sky Harbor. The dew point has crept back up to 51, relative humidity 18%, the wind light, and the barometer is steady. Checking the satellite out here across the southwest. Where's the monsoon? Well, this is a good place to kind of show you what's been happening with it. High pressure remains anchored over the plain states in the southeast. The western periphery of that ridge extends into New Mexico and maybe eastern Arizona, and the flow aloft there is southerly, but further west, we're still under the influence of this weakening trough, so the flow has been somewhat more southwesterly over Arizona, and you can pretty much see right now severe clear over basically the entire state. And we will see at least a couple of showers and storms in the extreme eastern and southeast portions of the state today. Slightly better chances tomorrow, and those will push a little further west. But I just don't think we're going to see anything in here until maybe Thursday, as there is an inverted trough that's out there and that should move on into the southwest and give at least a slight increase in the number of showers and storms. Meanwhile, it's another day of extreme heat across the Central Plains and the Midwest and the Southeast, from Tampa and Jacksonville, Florida, to Atlanta, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Nashville, Memphis, Little Rock, Tupelo, Jackson, all the way up to Kansas City and St. Louis and Evansville and Indianapolis. Yes, Cincinnati. It's hot. Those are heat advisories and extreme heat warnings. We've seen some heat index values well over 110 degrees across Florida and parts of the southeast. The combination of that heat and those high dew points, yeah, just makes it brutal. Yeah, not as brutal as we saw in Dubai when we were showing the observations the other day. I was just looking at some observations from the Persian Gulf airport where they had 104 and I believe a dew point of 84 for a heat index of 136. So not quite as bad as that, but still absolutely miserable and oppressive and dangerously hot. Now, how about this? We've got a flood watch over parts of New Mexico and West Texas. So some heavy rain possible, again, with that inverted trough, that feature over there. We just can't seem to get that to push further west into Arizona. Elsewhere, red flag warnings over parts of the west. We've got some air quality alerts once again across parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the UP of Michigan. Here's the convective outlook for today. The standard slight risk of severe storms snaking its way from the central and northern Rockies out into the plain states, as well as a little marginal risk over parts of the Great Basin. In Arizona, the eastern and southeastern portions of the state in the green, thunderstorms possible. I would suggest maybe not even as far west as the SPC guys have it defined here. But there could be a few showers and storms in the far eastern portions of the state today, but nothing around here. Here's the precipitation outlook. This is valid through next Tuesday morning from the WPC, and this is just kind of depressing, isn't it? Rain amounts in Phoenix looks like nothing now. And even in the southeastern portions of the state, rain amounts will generally be at or under 1/2 inch. Now, of course, your amount will vary, and anytime we're talking about thunderstorms in the monsoon season, of course, any one storm can put down more than what's shown here. This represents an average of what you'll see, but this is trending the wrong way. Again, I stress we are technically in kind of the heart of the monsoon season here. Late July, August, this is where things really start to peak. And we haven't really seen much activity at all so far. But will that change? Let's figure it out right now as we get to the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go, the GFS, the 12Z run valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. Ridge in the east. And still to our north and west, there's that trough and that big upper low we've been talking about since time began over in the northeast Pacific. That thing has just been anchored there. So what it all means, down at the surface for the rest of the day today with that dry southwesterly flow aloft, we are sunny, we are hot, high temperatures anywhere from about 107 to 111 degrees. There could be a few showers and storms, certainly over to Mexico. There'll be scattered showers and storms there. An isolated storm creeps over into eastern Arizona, the far eastern part of the state, the White Mountains perhaps, but not here. For tonight, mostly clear sky. Overnight lows will be in the 80s for most of us, maybe upper 70s in the cool spots. And then for tomorrow, sunny in the morning, maybe a few afternoon clouds. We could see those cloud buildups way off to the east. And I suppose there's even an outside chance for some storms that get closer to us across parts of Gila and north central Pinal County to generate some gusty winds that could potentially infringe upon the East Valley tomorrow evening, but that's kind of a stretch. High temperatures will still be around 107 to 111 tomorrow. Let's keep going. This is Thursday, and that ridge to the east and that inverted trough starts to wash out, but there's enough moisture around, and I mean just barely enough, and the mixing ratios are just high enough, and all the conditions, all of our ingredients are just barely in favor of some widely scattered, mainly afternoon and evening showers and storms across the eastern half of the state on Thursday. And so we will put a slight chance of storms into the forecast here in Phoenix. That possibility only about a 20% risk, though. And high temperatures on Thursday still hovering pretty close to 110 degrees. We don't expect temps to trend down nearly as much as anticipated because moisture levels won't be picking up quite as much as anticipated. And this is really about the best chance, maybe the only chance we have in the next 7 days here in Phoenix, because Friday, so we start to see a trough re-emerging here across the Pacific Northwest and eventually starting to move east, and that's going to ultimately suppress our ridge further to the south and southeast. And so as a result, the flow aloft will turn more southwesterly again. The chance of storms in the valley on Friday is not mathematically zero, but it's pretty close. High temperatures will top out again pretty close to 110 degrees, and we'll see that as we go over the weekend. Highs anywhere from about 107 to 112 here for the lower deserts Saturday and Sunday. And you'll notice the GFS is really trending drier and drier and drier. And it doesn't look like we're going to see any storm activity at all. Let's keep going. This is Monday. And now a few things are happening here. We've got the ridge kind of surging back to the north across New Mexico, but it's intensifying up to about a 597 ridge. Some increase in moisture may occur with that, and the GFS is picking up on that for some widely scattered showers and storms across southeast Arizona. And there's been some hint that early next week there could be at least a brief increase in the number of showers and storms here. across the state. But I'm not ready to buy into that, certainly not with a 597 ridge sitting just to our east. So in a nod to that, we'll call for some increase in clouds here over the south central deserts, but we're not going to put any rain chances into the forecast just yet. High temperatures, though, this is where the rubber meets the road. I'd say highs probably 110 to 115 in the hottest desert spots as model trends keep bringing temperatures up with each successive run, and especially if that ridge continues to intensify across New Mexico and eastern Arizona, that would be the case. Let's go to a week from today. This is Tuesday, the 5th of August. And again, upper heights, about 597 decameters. That ridge is over New Mexico. The flow aloft is somewhat southerly or southeasterly, and yes, there could be some moisture drawn in around that ridge. But again, when you have such an intense ridge, the thermal profiles, the lapse rates are not very steep. The mid-levels of the atmosphere are generally speaking too warm unless there's an inverted trough or some kind of disturbance that rotates in here. Despite the fact that there could be an increase in moisture, I just don't see any significant chances of storms. But the GFS kind of disagrees. It does show some shower and thunderstorm increase over the eastern half of the state, maybe even here in Phoenix. I'd still say high temperatures are around 110 to 115, and we're going to watch this because, the European ensemble especially has been trending much hotter here as we go into next week. This is Wednesday, the 6th of August, and that would be hot and relatively dry. Again, there could be a few storms, the southern border and the southeastern portion of the state, but we should generally stay dry and look like that, and hot. With highs probably anywhere from 110 to 115, maybe the hottest deserts hotter than that. Out 10 days, this is Thursday the 7th, and we've got an upper ridge that's just sitting right on top of us. Upper heights 594 to 597 decameters, so it is sizzling, scorching hot here over the desert southwest with not much in the way of monsoon activity. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble, this goes all the way out through the 12th of August. And if this is right, the ensemble mean, it's about 1/3 of an inch, almost, and the control member is a little bit higher than that. But again, you'll note that most of the members don't indicate any precipitation until beyond 10 days. And whenever we see that, what do we say? Well, that's the ensemble generally acting as it does with a bias toward climatology the further out it goes. So I'm not ready to buy into significant rain chances yet. The European AI says, yeah, don't do that because the ensemble mean here is under 1/10 of an inch. Depressing, right? Temperatures off the national blend of models. We are anywhere from, 108, 109, 110, 112, and could get hotter than that as we go deeper into next week, depending on the position of that upper ridge. But either way, temperatures to remain above average for the foreseeable future. And that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell. Leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you're really enjoying what we do here, you want to support the channel, please do. Click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make a monetary contribution to us. It's called a super thanks, or you can donate via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address, groffshow@gmail.com, or our Venmo. It's also linked up down in the description. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, possibly Adriana related, also linked up down in the description, as is our streaming station. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music, have a lot of fun with that, so give that a listen, give that a look. All linked up down below. And tonight, if you want to see more of me, if you just, for whatever reason, you want more content from me, well, you're going to find it over on Dan's channel at The Courtroom Files. The Courtroom Files YouTube channel. The Courtroom Files. It's a show we called Sidebar, and I will be there along with Ashley, Bailey, and Dan. We will be talking about some court cases and law tube stuff. We're not lawyers, but we're going to play lawyers on YouTube. Not really. It's just kind of average Joes talking stuff out. Joes and Josettes, Josephines. I don't know, whatever. We'll be over there talking that out tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific time, 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Sidebar over there on the Courtroom Files channel. And of course, I always encourage you to check out the Courtroom Files channel. You know what? How much I encourage you to do it? I even have it linked up in the description with all the other stuff. There's just so much going on. You have no excuse not to take in all of this great content. It's an entire media empire. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Seriously, I really, really do appreciate it. All that you guys do, it is amazing. And please, I want you to be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Tuesday.